Welcome one and all to another amazing night here in Tranquility.
We absolutely are in for a treat of a match here tonight, no question about it.
And the grenades from PawsChamp eliminate everybody on the field.
And now between something as well is going to be a fly as a death buff them, and it's going to be huge. Fighting three.
The double kill with the Bastion ulti? Alright, I see you guys.
For B-Well, look to find a stick there, finds the stick, they find two with it!
Those who find the picks will save the fight, and they don't really need to save what they've already won.
And Camp with the four-man punch off the map!
Experience tranquility.
Yeah, and both PawsChamp, really solid team. Most of the players from on PawsChamp are from the F972 roster of last season, being Stop You, Blue Rose, Dino Nugs, and Formless. The only new addition was Nova, who formerly of Ace High, which is no longer a team that rebranded to Onigiri during preseason. But yeah, all players have played with each other for quite a while. Nova was the newest addition, but he's been integrated pretty well.
Yeah, but going into this one here, this is a big game, top 8 matchup. Both these teams looking to keep their good seasons going. PawsChamp looking to keep themselves undefeated. Strix looking to bounce back from a loss last week to Onigiri there. So this is a big game for both these two teams here, Denji. Who do you necessarily think, actually, let me rephrase the question. Who do you think this is a bigger game for? PawsChamp wanting to keep that perfect record, or Strix here trying to just bounce back from their first loss of the season last week?
I would say for Strix. Strix, I played on Strix in Season 8, and this kind of happened back then too, where we had a very strong Stage 1, and then Stage 2 was a little bit of, misfortune as far as our play went, but Strix, if they can at least, take a couple maps, or at least one map off of PawsChamp, that would be pretty good. I did look at their Onigiri match, and that was pretty close. So they probably could have taken Eichenwald. They probably could have taken Eichen off of Onigiri then. But PawsChamp, very, very strong team. They aren't meta-based. They're not a meta-based team. They like to run things that teams don't expect you'll see. I know for a fact that instead of running the Ryan close hold on Havana, they like to run the Ramatra close hold instead, which is a little bit different, but still works.
Well, I asked Dino Nuggets there for PawsChamp, what do they think their favorite kind of comp is, or their best comp is? And they told me, they personally really do like the brawl variations that they come out with. And you talked about their 2 different brawl variations that they like to come out with. But other than that, they said they like to play really, really fast and aggressive. Essentially, play fast, play aggressive. That might be kind of their motto going into a lot of these maps here tonight.
Yeah, and back when they were all on F972, that was their style. Really, what Stop You was in, where they were playing fast and aggressive. He's really great at He's really great at Diva, Reinhardt, Ramatra, and also every now and then he will pull out the Doomfist, and I don't think any other tank in Harmony tier currently can match his Doom.
But I believe we're getting ready to go into the first map here of the night, and we'll be heading to Lijiang Tower. Now, Denji, talk to us a little bit about Lijiang here. What should we expect from these two teams?
For Lijiang, mainly a brawl map, but however, when I casted Space Grade versus Pride last week, the only time we actually saw the mirror brawl was on Control Center, as both teams are a complete mirror right now. I saw Monkey, I saw Pharmacy, I saw Ball. The Night Market and Gardens open up a lot more of what you can run, but Control Center is pretty dominated by this Reinhardt brawl, except actually, for me, they're not mirrored. PawsChamp is running the Junkrat sim, meanwhile on the side of Strix, they're running a sim maze, so they're looking to cut off Stop You more and probably punish the aggression that PawsChamp likes to go with.
Yeah, and I kind of like Strix coming out with this May. Like you said, try to cut them off, split up the team. That always will work out for them. But fight going on right now, no one necessarily falling yet. Yojimbo, closest one to death here at the moment. Now you see Strix get a little bit aggressive, fall back a little bit. PawsChamp able to get rid of that immortality field there for Strix, as it was popped early, but I think PawsChamp also used theirs early as well. Rat, though, able to find one. Mr. Amazing able to find one, make it 2 as well, and Strix handily winning this first team fight.
Yeah, this is why May is a little better than Junkrat. Sure, Junkrat, causes so much chaos and has a lot of damage in, but the fact that Rat can Stop You off from his supports is massive, especially considering how aggressive PawsChamp likes to play. Now, Mr. Amazing and Jimbo both have their ults before the rest of PawsChamp do, and Rat, the Blizzard versus Tire, that's gonna be the big thing. Tire is a little bit of an iffy ult because it's low health. It can be destroyed easily in a 5v5 and fast-paced environment, but one Duari comes out here from Jimbo, so PawsChamp's kind of locked into this white room area.
Yeah, they're going to respect this damage matrix, wait it out. It's out now. Mr. Amazing, though, still does have their ultimate ready, like you said, but here comes damage matrix from PawsChamp, but then Sim Wall coming up from Mr. Amazing pretty much negates that right there. So a good trade coming out here from Strix as they continue to build up this lead more and more, already up to 45%. Shatter comes out from Stop You, able to find one. Impact Shatter, though, immediately finds Blue Rose there. Trade going back and forth to Stop You, able to find Impact there on that trade. PawsChamp able to get the double tire kill there from Formless, and the Mind kill and a point flip.
Yeah, point does flip. Both Strix invested a little more than PawsChamp did because Nova didn't get his wall up until now. Downnugs has that support as that beat a little bit ahead of Koala there. But Rat does have that Blizzard. And as much as people think Beat is a counter to Blizzard, it's not really a reliant counter since the health deteriorates so fast. If you focus one target in the Blizzard, they will die even with that sound barrier protection.
Yeah, but as you say that, Rat almost gets really low there, almost falls again while talking about that. Here comes the wall here from Nova. Now the ice wall coming out from Rat. They pop their Blizzard as well. Are they going to be able to find anyone in it? They find two. Stop You, Formless already fall. Blue Rose is able to keep themselves alive, but they're on the back foot. However, Mr. Amazing able to take them out. Point flip coming out here for Strix. Fight continues here, but it's going to be an easy fight win here for Strix.
Yeah, that's where I'm saying Downnugs invested Beat, but they lost two players. Even with that Beat overhealth, it didn't swing the fight or save save the two players that were caught in the Blizzard there. And now Strix has support ult advantage, and they also have that sim wall from Mr. Amazing to work with too to split the point.
Yeah, but you immediately see PawsChamp come in your dueling damage measures coming out. Beat coming out here from Strix, keep himself support, and the sim wall coming out from Mr. Amazing to make sure that damage measures coming out from PawsChamp does not find a lot of value. Both Stop You and Impact have their shatters ready to go here. Stop You on a lot less health with a 5-man shatter coming out from Impact. 3-4 already down. The last member on point, Downnugs falls, and this should be the first point going over to Strix.
Yeah, first point goes over to Strix, and that was just a big comp difference. PawsChamp just not wanting to run that Mei because Strix running that Mei, Rat could cut off rotations, cut off Stop You. It just the Mei over the Junkrat, it may seem like it loses kind of the damage battle, but because Mei has more value than Junkrat in terms of cutting off over aggressing players, that's why Strix wins there, because Rat on that Mei was doing a lot more than Formless was on that Junkrat.
Yeah, but look at the swaps that are coming out here from PawsChamp at the moment. Almost essentially an entire team swap coming out here for them. And yeah, there's the comp swap.
Yeah, so they're going to be running kind of like what used to be called 6-man back in Overwatch 1, but now it's more like obviously 5-man. But Strix point sticking with that Sim Brawl. And Sim Brawl still does beat like this super aggressive dive comp because Brawl just can bunker on point, and if Stop You jumps in, he's gonna get blown up immediately.
Yeah, Mr. Amazing already able to get those turrets set up, and Rat able to dink. A Blue Rose is down there, but now their incredible Immortality Field coming out from Yojimbo to keep them alive, and that Immortality Field found a lot of value because it was never taken out. Mr. Amazing finds Formless as well, and Nova. You see Stop You jumping away, and again, Strix capping point here first.
Yeah, and that's where you're gonna see Formless switch over to that Pharah. But still, with even with the far pressure, if Strix plays correctly, they just do not have to leave point whatsoever. So they can just leave Formless outside to like poke and do pretty much nothing the whole time. And as soon as Stop You and Nova or try to engage, they blow those two up because Stop You only has one cooldown to get in and get out. And if he uses it to get in, he's gonna have a Reinhardt, a Baptiste, a Sim, and a Mei all looking at him at the same time.
And if Formless goes through this window right there, you can see it through the walls. 2 turrets right there to try to melt them down. Stop You though, it falls here first. Mr. Amazing finding a lot of value with this Sim, and you know I love to see that. They find Nova as well. However, Formless able to get some damage here onto Yojimbo, but they immediately fall back.
Yeah, and that's where the Brawl just beats Monkey again and again, because Monkey, even in Overwatch 1, couldn't do anything to Ryan, because Ryan's a giant German man with a hammer that pretty much what Winston does to Ryan is just tickle him, and Impact has a Baptiste at his back. When Stop You jumps in, it cuts the line of sight for Dino, so it's harder for Dino to try to get healing in on him.
The barrage coming out here from Formless. Oh, it could have been huge, but the Immortality Field keeps everyone for Strix alive. Mr. Amazing keeping up this amazing performance so far. Yojimbo able to find Stop You there, and this is another quick team fight win there. You see Blue Rose just jumping off the map to respawn with their team.
Yeah, and Barrage was great. Immortality Field perfectly timed from Jimbo, and Rat used their Mei wall to block off more of that damage. So Formless got basically zero value out of that barrage, and now Strix has that Blizzard. So and their own last fight territory. So it's gonna be, if Nova or Stop You get caught, it's gonna be tough. Because if Stop You jumps in, I'm expecting Rat just to pop Blizzard and freeze the Monkey and blow the tank up.
Yeah, but we're getting into this last fight right now. Rat immediately pops that Blizzard. They're able to find Stop You there. The Nano coming out onto them to keep them alive. The Shatter coming out to try to get rid of them, but they're able to stay alive through all that stuff. The beat coming out here from Strix and the damage matrix as well. Yo Jimbo able to find Blue Roses here to get everything going. Formless able to fall as well. Rat, though, falls for Strix. However, the kills continue to go the way of Strix here. They're just trying to clean up the stragglers at this point right now. They have their sights on Dino Nugs and Nova, but Dino Nugs, no threat to get back and touch that point. Strix will take this first map.
Yeah, and great map taken by Strix here, and kind of a point, and kind of a getting a point across there, because this is PawsChamp. This is only PawsChamp's second map dropped all season, and to Dex's joy, a Symmetra play.
You love to see it. Mr. Amazing did, like their name says right there, amazing on the sim on this map here. I'm very excited to see how they play the rest of this series. I know we won't probably be seeing sim every map, but that was an incredible performance from them there on those first 2 points, especially Control Center, which I consider to be probably the worst sim map of all the points on Lijiang.
Yeah, it came down to a big comp difference on Control Center being the May better over the Junkrat, just wrapping with a split stop. You split the team up. Same thing on Guardians. Just Brawl beats Dive completely. Because Strix were playing so grouped together, every time Stop You jumped in, he didn't really have a target to isolate because everybody was so grouped up together. So when he jumped in, he was jumping into a face full of damage and pretty much was getting no value whatsoever. And also, Dino Nugs really doesn't have a line of sight when Stop You jumps in there because there's a giant pillar with walls that splits the point in half in Gardens. And Formless was pretty much isolated outside because if you go inside of that stage as Pharah, you're gonna get focused. Or in sure, like maybe you get a couple kills or whatever, but still, like you don't want to play inside as Pharah. You want to be outside poking. So PawsChamp need to kind of change it up a little bit. This is probably what they've run and probably why they didn't switch. But I would like to, on that guard stage, you probably could have just swapped off and mirrored the Brawl, or at least tried to mirror, instead of trying to run your head into a brick wall with that dive.
And honestly, I'll give you a lot of credit, because you 100% predicted what we were going to see when Formless made that swap over to that Pharah. They were going to stay away and just try to pepper in some damage, maybe try to find a random kill with the rocket, and they got the barrage pretty fast. But they got no value out of it because of an incredible immortality field coming out from Yo Jimbo there. But map 1's over. PawsChamp dropping their second map all season there. We do know what our second map of the night is. Denji, you ready to go to Brazil?
Alright, so this PawsChamp has chosen Parasio, probably one of the worst hybrid maps in my opinion. Still. They probably have chosen this because this plays more into dive, which I would I'd probably expect Diva, Doom, or Monkey coming up from Stop You, but I have really not seen Strix play on this map. So when I did see Strix play last season on this map, they kind of run like a counter dive, or at least try to run the counter dive with a Diva or Winston of their own, and a big conversation is Brig did get her rally reworked, so she is a little more of a threat when it comes to somebody trying to jump on top of her, because she gains that 100 armor. She gains a giant shield that can stun multiple people, and the armor is their armor is restorable to her only. Her team is still only gain over health, but we'll see what both teams come out here. I'm expecting dive from PawsChamp since they have elected to attack first, and I'm not really sure what we're going to see from Strix.
I love that we've been stuck on this screen for a while right now. You can see to the right of the Jesus statue where the water texture ends here. But you see Strix coming out with the Winston here to start PawsChamp, looking like they're going to go with that Ramatra kind of brawl comp that that they talked about a little bit.
Yeah, so what PawsChamp wants to do is they just want to force point, and whoever tries to touch point on the side of Strix, they want to blow up, which is going to be Impact. However, since PawsChamp isn't running a Cutico, one big anti-grenade from Jimbo, which I know he can land those, could basically end the fight right then and there, because anti-grenade still a really busted cooldown, especially if you're not running the cleanse of a Cutico.
But let's see how PawsChamp responds to dropping only their second map of the season here at the moment. Formless sticking with that Bastion here. I do like the pick, especially if you're able to melt down Impact's bubble. It could be very dangerous.
Yeah, you see, there's the big nade I was talking about coming in, and Formless just explodes. They're not running a Kiriko there because Ana has so much control over the point with his high ground that when PawsChamp tries to rotate, they're gonna get peppered from all angles because Strix can just surround them from the high ground there, and that's what Brawl's weakness is surrounding them with angles. And that was really a good job there from Strix. Impact just kind of baiting himself by dropping in, so then it baits out the turn form from Formless. So then Jimbo has an easier time just landing that nade because Sophu's not going to shield that immediately.
Yeah, and look immediately what Formless does there. They swap off the Bastion, go into the Reaper so that they can kind of cleanse themselves of that anti there. But still, the rest of their team, without that Kiriko, like you said, one good nade there from Yojimbo pretty much almost dooms everyone there. And Formless, first one to fall in this fight again. Dino Nugs, though, does find Impact, so that's a nice trade out there. Get rid of that tank. However, Rat in the backline here doing a lot of damage. S2W currently sleeping somewhere on point, but Rat has their eyes set on Mr. Amazing there. Blue Rose, though, my bad. On Blue Rose there, Nova and STOWP able to find 2 kills here on Strix. This point cap here still very much alive. Yojimbo, last person alive here for Strix, and they might just fall back to keep themselves alive as well. But you do see Impact coming back.
Yeah, and Impact almost has that Primal, and Jimbo nanos him back in here, which is huge. Impact is so low, though. I don't know if he's going to be able to get that Primal. Primal does come out. And PawsChamp, it was a good job picking off Impact there by using the snare ability of the Ramatra just to pull Impact back down as he tried to jump out. But Strix, their re-engage was beautiful. Jimbo just played back because he knew he had Nano. Impact was coming back. Nano was built up. Primal came out from Impact. Beautiful re-engage there from Strix to keep the point alive. And you see Qual making a little switch going over to that Lucio. Now PawsChamp does have a couple ults coming in here, but Nova did invest the Blizzard. I don't think it caught anyone. It's going to be the only ult that Strix have to work with currently is that overclock from Mr. Amazing, which still can get value. It can't one-tap headshot anybody anymore, but it still can two-tap, I believe.
Yeah, but honestly, I think the biggest play from that last team fight was the fact that Yojimbo did not get walled off there. Was actually able to use the wall a little bit for cover and kept themselves alive. If Yojimbo falls there, we're probably looking at PawsChamp capping this first point already. Down Victor coming out here from Blue Rose to get things started. Mr. Amazing finds one. They find to the beat coming out here from Dino Nugs as STOWP finds Impact right now. Overclock coming out here from Mr. Amazing. They have their eyes set on to Formless. Here comes the ultimate from STOWP. They find one. Formless also does pop their ultimate as well. But at this point right now, PawsChamp is trying to get rid of the last remaining members. And with Yojimbo jumping off the map right there to respawn with their team, that's going to be a point cap here for PawsChamp.
Yeah, it's going to be a point cap, but it was a very costly point cap, having to invest every single ult they had in there. You see PawsChamp switching their support line a little bit and also their DPS. And Strix has decided to mirror that Ramatra. Actually, STOWP switching over. They're going to a more aggressive type of dive, which it can be shut down with the same way that Strix was able to shut down the dive on Gardens, and that's just playing it grouped up together, protecting their Ana as much as possible, and kind of using Impact as bait most of the time, or at least using Jimbo as bait to try to collapse. When they try to jump Jimbo, the rest of the team can try to collapse, or Rat can just be a nuisance in the back right now.
Rat does have this pulse bomb ready if you can land it on one of these low HP characters. Oh my god, they get hacked out of their pulse bomb there by Formless. Nova able to take care of them, but Mr. Amazing railgun shot finds STOWP. Nova though continuing on the warpath here finds Yojimbo, and PawsChamp here just gonna be able to push up the card. Nova going in right now finds Koala's. Formless will take care of Mr. Amazing, and now they have their eyes set onto Impact here. Impact only able to shield themselves from so much damage before they eventually fall.
Yeah, but the good news here for Strix is that Impact built Annihilation in that fight. So if they can manage to touch the point and get Impact back in here to possibly get that Annihilation off, that forces so much LOS and forces so much out of PawsChamp that would be huge.
Nova popping the blade. They already find Rat right now, have their eyes now set on the Mr. Amazing, but Yojimbo actually able to shut down Nova there and that blade. Impact did pop their ultimate very early in that engagement, and with some help there from Mr. Amazing, able to find Stop You. EMP coming out here from Formless, down 2 members might be an interesting choice in my opinion, but no one's fallen just yet. However, Blue Rose is able to teleport away to keep themselves alive, but it might only be just for a moment here.
Yeah, Koala might be overextended a little bit, but he manages to get out. Formless, that EMP might be the reason they still is possible from the cap because they do have ults, but that EMP they probably want back here, especially since Koala has a free beat now. He doesn't really have to save it for anything since both DPS ults are off the table. He can just match dinos with it if they try to go aggressive. And Mr. Amazing has another overclock.
Overclock coming out here from Mr. Amazing. Like you said, beat coming out from both sides. Mr. Amazing able to find Stop You. Here
I don't think
comes.
Stop You got the beat.
Here comes the consuming rush from Blue Roses, but the rest of their team just continues to fall here. Everything's starting to fall apart for PawsChamp right now, and like you said, that EMP from Formless might be the reason they end up not capping this second point.
Yeah, especially since look, Stop You has the prone rage, but who you target? Like Jimbo can just jump up and down. Rat Amazing have cooldown. Let's get out. Koala has cooldown. Let's get out. Impact can just Nemesis form and completely deny it. And Rat almost has that Blossom Gem as a window. And PawsChamp invested so much into that fight, and they invested beat, and I don't even think it got on the Stop You, and Stop You got blown up so fast before he could even prop that Primal Rage.
Damage Matrix coming out, and look at that. It just melts Stop You down with some help from the rest of their teammate there. Yojimbo currently hacked, though. Won't do a lot there as Selfless already has to dive back. Nova out of the picture. So is Formless right there as well. Strix just looking to clean up here. Rat gonna pop this Prime or Death Blossom here to try to finish it off. We do see Stop You get back here, pop this Primal Rage, but it's a 4v1. They're trying their best, but eventually Mr. Amazing will be able to take them out. And right there is all that PawsChamp will get on their push.
Yeah, very good job from Strix. Just, they must have studied the way PawsChamp plays because they know that Stop You likes to just jump, like, they know that PawsChamp thrives off of isolated players. And they know that PawsChamp thrives off of isolated players. And what Strix is doing is they're grouping up together. The players that are immobile or can't get out are grouping together. So when the monkey jumps in, they all can focus fire Stop You down. So then it's less of a threat. Sure, like Nova can still like dash in too with the Genji, but Jimbo has the Immortality Field. And Rat has a little more freedom because if you're on Tracer, you have a little more freedom. You have Reaper, you have like a little less freedom like to move around because you only have like one ability to get out, pretty much, unless you get a lucky TP up. But Rat can just play with the core if needed, and as Stop You jumps in, he's looking at a shotgun up the face.
Mm-hmm. But now PawsChamp, you know, a couple unfortunate ultimates came out there. We could talk about Formless's EMP. And in the end, I really believe that one was probably the reason they didn't get that second point. They keep that EMP another fight. You know, they're able to just negate so much that Strix had. But, you know, it's just one of those things of what if?
Yeah, that EMP, Formless popped it. It was probably either his call or his team's call to pop it there. But what you're doing there by popping the EMP, you're down your tank, so there's barely any follow-up whatsoever. And Koala had Sound Barrier like right after that fight, so you could match Dino Nugs, which worked a lot better. Mr. Amazing coming on the Widowmaker here almost picks off Formless immediately.
I would have quit if he hit that. That would have just been amazing right there. But you immediately see them swap back over to that Sojourn. Got a lot of value on the Sojourn there in their defensive side right now. Nova coming out on the Torb. Interesting pick for me, but wherever they have that turret, it needs to be able to get a lot of damage for them. But look at that. Mr. Amazing already finding it out.
Mr. Amazing already finds the turret now, but Pharah is pretty powerful on this map since it's so wide open. It's kind of hard for the hit scan to get down that far, especially since they have to deal with the Torb as well. And PawsChamp kind of just reading what Strix wants to do here and kind of making Mr. Amazing look in two directions because the Torb turn peppers down, and it also is making Impact it's making Impact's life a little harder to engage. I see Strix just switch up their comp completely back to that Ramatra. They just want to go fast on the point and probably, or at least get Mr. Amazing that high ground so he can off angle and then get the point. So if Stop You jumps in, Rat can just blow him up.
Yeah, I do like these swaps coming out here from Strix because you can kind of see who they're trying to counter with all these swaps here. Rat trying to counter Stop You, but Stop You immediately finds Rat there. Mr. Amazing going over to that Soldier there to try to stop Formless here, but Mr. Amazing able to get rid of half that pharmacy combo there. Here comes a barrage from Formless. They're able to find one with it, able to keep themselves alive as well as the rest of their team here starts to clean up the remaining members of Strix here.
Yeah, the good thing for Strix is they got a tick there. they get a tick. They're nearing their support ultimates too. PawsChamp had to invest their barrage, which isn't that big of a deal because PawsChamp is coming up on their nano boost and their molten core. And big reason Formless survives there is Dino Nugs was just sitting on the high ground pocketing his far because Blue Roses fell early in that fight. But Jimbo's actually just ditches the nano boost and goes over to a BAP, so a little more survivability when it comes to getting poked out, and it has an immortality field too.
Oh, but look at this. Formless already able to find Koala out early. The turret gone, though, for Nova. However, the kills all going PawsChamp way here at the moment. And Strix looking like they're kind of stumped with what to do here.
Yeah, they just keep going. They are going the same way, and it might just be that Impact can't play D.Va that well, because D.Va would actually be a great counter to this, because the D.Va can at least contest the far, contest the monkey a little bit better than the Ramattra can, and can poke out that turret too. Now, Nova has that molten core that actually PawsChamp almost has a full bank of ultimates, and Strix doesn't really have that much to work with right now.
Yeah, but now Strix finally going a different way here, wanting to go through the up the high ground here. Formless just peppering a lot of damage. They have the barrage ready to go. They're able to already find Mr. Amazing and the immortality field. Nova's turret actually able to find Koala there. Rat falls as well. So does Impact. And now you're seeing Yojimbo run for their life, but Formless just on their tail.
Yeah, and that's going to be a stagger on Jimbo there too. So, and Strix is down to the last 50 seconds of this round. Rat switching over to a Cassie. They really don't like. But the thing is, since PawsChamp only used that one ultimate, they still have the 4. They have Molten Core and Barrage that can just deny that point too. Impact is nearing that annihilation, but he can get blown up so easily here because of those 2 ultimate DPS ultimates. But Formless is taking out Mr. Amazing immediately here.
Red's gonna come out, and that's also gonna force out the Valkyrie here from Blue Roses. All the ultimates coming out here from PawsChamp. They're able to find, I believe, 2, make it 3 right there as they find Impact. The damage matrix, though, does come out from Yojimbo. Here comes the visor from Mr. Amazing. However, the kill's still going the way of PawsChamp here at the moment. Oh, and that anti there is huge as it gets rid of Mr. Amazing there. I believe Stop You did fall there, but now it's just up to the remaining members of Strix here as we basically are in final fight territory. Oh, and Blue Rose got back just a little bit too slow to keep Nova alive. However, Formless able to find Rat. Impact now back on the ball. Formless on this Pharah has just been incredible here. Now we see Yojimbo come back on the Kariko to try to keep themselves alive, but Formless denies them. They have the nano as well. They deny Mr. Amazing. At the moment, Mr. Amazing might be named Formless.
Yeah, and great defense there from PawsChamp as they tie it up. It was looking kind of dire for them after they got held like pretty on a second point there, but they tie the match up here, and now it is going to be the next map. The next map type is Escort, and all 3 maps heavily favor Poke, being Havana, Rialto, and Route 66. Havana, you can run the Brawl and clear the close hold there, which is an option that I know PawsChamp has liked to run in the past. Now, if I was Strix, I would just take them to a map where you can't run Pharah really well. Route 66 is one of those maps where Pharah is very iffy because the map is so wide open. There's not that much natural cover. She can easily get poked out. So if I was Strix, I would go to Route 66 here and just make them not and force them off of that Pharah pick.
Yeah, but that map choice there, and even with their mistakes, PawsChamp was able to, even up the series here heading into halftime. That's the kind of map they desperately needed. And like I said, even with the mistake there, I thought that mistake could be costly for them, but their defense on first point there on Paricio was just incredible.
Yeah, just incredible. And then Strix, a little bit thinking that the Ramattra can probably counter at the fire. I think it's like more of a blow the monkey up as he jumps in thing. But I would have liked to see a D.Va swap instead, because D.Va just does more against that comp than Ramattra does. D.Va denies that Pharah, denies the Winston, can also deny the Ana as well, because then she can eat nade, eat the healing that's trying to go on to stop you in Formless. D.Va was just probably a better pick in that situation, and I don't know if that's just not in Impact's hero pool, or if Strix just have not practiced running the D.Va there, but D.Va would have been a lot better as a tank pick than the Ramattra.
But right now, Strix has a lot of time to think about how they could try to bounce back in the next map. We're going to take a little bit of a break here and be right back with map number 3 of this series. Welcome back, everyone, from that halftime break here. The series so far knotted up at 1 map apiece here. PawsChamp able to bounce back from a really good map 1 win there from Strix. However, Denji, you know, I'm kind of surprised that we saw PawsChamp lose that first map, but Strix was really dominant on it.
Yeah, Strix just played how to counter out both the comps that PawsChamp ran perfectly. The May being able to wall cut off, stop you, cut off the rotations on control center, and then the brawl just completely being the dive because they're so grouped up together with some stuff. You jumped in, you blew up. It was sloppy on PawsChamp's attack on Paricio. A little bit of some mistakes there, but Strix couldn't break that pharmacy hold that PawsChamp pulled, and Strix have elected to go to Havana for the escort map. Now this is where I know PawsChamp for a fact likes to close hold here on their defense, and we'll see who will be attacking first. But if PawsChamp is defending, they really like to hold close with the Remonstrance and Ride. At least that's what I've seen last time.
And that is something they talked about. They like to play a little bit fast, a little bit aggressive, especially on the defense here on Havana. You know, that close hold, like you said, something that they have done in the past. Wouldn't be surprised if we see it here again, coming out from them. And honestly, you know, why a lot of teams do that close hold, you can try to hold the attacking team in their spawn for a long time, and even if you lose the team fight, you can still get back out to the cart before they actually get to that first checkpoint.
Yeah, it's really tough to break out. It usually forces a lot of time off their clock, forces a lot of resources and ultimates out of the team that's trying to break out of their spawn. There are ways to break it a little faster. You can since there are 3 spawn doors on the spawn of Havana, you can send like your tank out one and with a support, and you can send the rest of your team on like angle, so it's a pincer maneuver. So the team that's trying to spawn hold is caught in the middle of the team trying to crush them like a trash compactor, basically.
Yeah, honestly, you might be right there. I don't necessarily know if that's the best kind of strategy that you can do, but I've seen people run Pharmacy to break it, Bastion to break it, pretty much anything that just completely denies what the close hold wants to do, and that's go fast. And Farah basically is up in the sky, so it's really hard to hit her unless you got a Cassidy that has really good aim. And Bastion, well, if Orion tries to W King to a Bastion, they're not going to live. Yeah, you're absolutely right about that here, but honestly, this has to be a bounce back map here for Strix. I think PawsChamp really, you know, regained the momentum after Paricio there with how dominant they were on the defensive side, and we talked about it a little bit even in that map right there, that their offensive push there had a couple mistakes, some that I believe both me and you thought could have been mistakes that lost them the map, but their defense just came out and shined there on Paricio.
Yeah, and PawsChamp is defending first, Strix attacking. Now, I won't be surprised if we see a close hold come out from PawsChamp here. As we see the comps come out. Yeah, this is what PawsChamp likes to do. They like to close hold with this comp, usually. They like to... The Pharmacy is just more there. I haven't seen the Pharmacy variant, or at least like the version that PawsChamp is running, but Foremost looked really strong on that Pharmacy there, and Strix is running with a traditional kind of poke that you usually see in rolling range maps. I won't be surprised if they switch to a full-on brawl, or at least somewhat of a brawl, to just try to break the hold that PawsChamp is trying to put on this spawn.
You got to respect them for trying to keep this a secret, even though I imagine Strix probably fully expects the close hold here, as most teams do, in my opinion.
Yeah, most teams expect the close hold. Some teams, especially since through film and through VOD and stuff like that, I won't be surprised if Strix completely expected this. As you see Strix immediately switching over to a May Bastion Reinhardt, but switching over to a brawl, like a high damage output brawl, just to basically try to stop you out of the fight, or at least push your Formless down so heavily that it's really hard. As both Immortality fields already come out from both teams, and Mr. Amazing Burn stop you, so this close hold's over.
Yeah, but you're going to see PawsChamp here try to keep up this fight as long as they can. Dino Nugs and Formless able to find 2 kills. And find a 3rd one as well, so this close hold might still very much be alive here.
Yeah, the Safari being kind of a thorn in the side there, because Formless is up above, so it's hard. It's hard to get the far of this guy without like a reliable hit scan. Bastion can, but he his turret mode I believe has a lot of spread on it, so it's a little harder to pepper down that Pharah.
And Strix right now, you know, Stop You is going to be back in the picture here as the second fight gets going. And look at that. Mr. Amazing actually focused on the pharmacy in the sky. They forget that Stop You is back in the picture. Here comes the barrage. It finds one. It finds two. Stop You able to find a fourth there. And already another quick team fight one here for PawsChamp.
Yeah, I would like to. I would think that Strix would switch over to like a Cassidy or a Soldier or something like that to try to like at least get Formless out of the sky more often, but I think they're trying to play for ultimates and use ultimates to break out here, but PawsChamp already have burned about a minute or so off with a time bank right now. Impact going over to the ball. Interesting choice, as they're going to a ball comp, so they're trying to at least make it harder for PawsChamp to run at somebody, or at least they're trying to surround PawsChamp, so it make it a little harder.
Damage matrix coming out here from Dino Nugs. PawsChamp has this great opportunity right now. They're already able to find Yo Jimbo out there as Formless continues to pick up kill after kill here. Remember, Dino Nugs falls here for PawsChamps. However, you do see the res come out to get them back in this one, but Blue Roses, due to that, will lose their life. But the team fight still won here by PawsChamp.
Still won by PawsChamp, but losing the Mercy there, that's rough, especially since now Formless doesn't have a pocket, so it's a little easier to kill him.
Artillery strike here coming out from Mr. Amazing. Look who it's focused on. It's focused on Nova, and they're not going to be able to find them. Formless, even without that Mercy, going to be able to find one kill. However, that's going to be all they get before Mr. Amazing finally shuts them down. The Blizzard coming out here from Nova, but this team fight already lost here for PawsChamp.
Already lost there, and PawsChamp did invest a lot too there. Now you see Formless stitching the Pharah, going over to a Summer to try to counter out that ball from Impact. Strix is kind of on a weird comp because they have that Bastion of Mr. Amazing paired with a ball comp, so it's a little bit odd. Stop You does have that Annihilation, but a simple Sleep Dart can easily shut that down.
Blue Roses taking a long time there before they finally made that swap over to the Lucio. They did have that Valkyrie ready to go. That was probably their biggest reason it took them so long. But the Annihilation coming out here from Stop You, it's going to be very big here. Does force out the beat from Koala to make sure everyone on Strix stays up and supported. This one Nova, though, able to find Mr. Amazing. The Annihilation already gone. Rat does trade out Dino Nugs here, but Impact immediately falls here for Strix. Rat trying to do their best here. They're blinking around, trying to pepper in as much damage as they can, but Formless able to find them there, and now Nova just trying to clean up the scraps.
Yeah, and Jimbo gets staggered a little bit. Now the good news for Strix is they do have a couple big ultimates, and Formless, he's fast to build that EMP, but Impact has that Minefield and has the Pulse Bomb Jimbo with the Nano Boost. It's gonna be tough for PawsChamp to survive through this, since Minefield can cut off a lot of area that PawsChamp wants to use.
Yeah, and Impact came in there, had a great opportunity to use that Minefield, did not use it there. Still going to hold on to it a little bit. Here comes the Minefield from Impact. Formless so close to an EMP they could completely negate all the mines here. But Stop You first one to fall here is Mr. Amazing back on that Soldier, and able to find one kill. Nova, though, able to win that duel there with Koala. Formless does have this EMP ready to go. It's going to immediately pop it, finds three, and gets rid of most of the mines there. Mr. Amazing first one to fall. Here comes the beat from Blue Roses. Dino Nugs does get that damage matrix ready to go, but they probably won't need to use it this fight. And, oh, Rat just able to get back to touch the card. Here comes the Death Blossom from Nova. Does find one. The hack coming out there on the Rat will get rid of them. Now the damage matrix comes out. Get a meltdown Koala, and 71 meters is all that Strix gets.
Yeah, and that's where I honestly, if I were Strix, I would have gone a map where you can't close hold, because this might be the nail in the coffin right now. Because honestly, why would you? They probably knew that PawsChamp would close hold. They probably could have gone a different map where you can't close hold. It's a little harder to. Choosing this map is probably what they've practiced and what they think they're best at. But you might have wanted to throw PawsChamp off instead of like just being predictable and going to probably one of PawsChamp's best escort maps. You know, Strix can choose to elect to close hold here as well and try to do the same thing PawsChamp did to them. But I won't be surprised if Formless just goes Pharah, and that's the end of that.
Yeah, and you brought up a really good point, like wondering why Strix came to this map, especially off the back of Formless's Pharah performance on the defense, their defensive side of Paricio there. It was, in my opinion, a very, very clutch and key character for them on that map. Hell, they only really died once, but they were able to get res to get back into that one, really making them almost, you know, they're in every fight. And Strix picking this map, like you said, a great close hold map, and that pharmacy combo really, really known for these close holds. It's just a wonder why they picked this map.
Yeah, it all comes down to probably what they practice, what their coach Womp has them practice. They probably are confident that they could break the close hold faster, or at least or at least break out of it faster than they thought. And honestly, I would have gone to Route 66. Like I said, it's a lot more open, harder to run far. You can't like really close hold that easily there. This map choice for Strix is a big question for me, especially since PawsChamp is so strong on it.
And look, PawsChamp already making a couple swapes to what they originally came out with. The pharmacy no more, since they did not see that close hold come out. Formless gonna stick on this Sombra. They did get a lot of value out of it when they made the swap last time, but you know, get that hack there on the rat, then immediately have to recall back. Stop you being very aggressive here, but there's a duel going on between the two Ramatras here at the moment. Impact, though, will be kept alive by this Immortality Field. Both Ramatras fall here. Blue Roses, though, does fall. Mr. Amazing able to find that headshot onto them.
Yeah, Mr. Amazing able to get that headshot onto the Zen, and both Ramatras traded out here. PawsChamp does have a little bit of a more of a frontline damage advantage, with the Reaper being able to put in a lot of damage into that Ramatra of Strix, but now Strix are kind of scattered across. They lost the impact, and now they're like all over the place right now, and this is not looking good for them.
It is not looking good for them at the moment, especially with Koala falling there. Impact next one to fall. Strix has to get someone here to try to contest. Yo, Jimbo tries. Oh, and just a little bit too late there for that one member. That was EMP'd. PawsChamp, though, going to continue their dominance up from Paricio here on Havana and put themselves on series point.
Putting themselves on serious point, and again, a big question mark for me. Why choose Havana? Like, you could have chosen the other two maps where PawsChamp can't close hold, and probably had a better outcome. But just choosing to go to Havana, which is probably what obviously Strix probably practiced and were probably more comfortable with, it just is kind of a big question mark, and it might be the nail in the coffin for Strix here, because I don't know why you would go to a map like where you knew what was going to happen, probably with PawsChamp being on that close hold in the pharmacy. Just, I don't know why they didn't go Root. Root was probably a better choice for them.
I mean, maybe there's a lot that goes into it behind the scenes that we just don't know. Maybe Root they thought would have been a better Pharah map for PawsChamp there because of the wide open space you have on those first 2 points. But it's just, again, one of those just questions of what if they did this, and we will never really know the answer to that. But right now, if you're Strix, you know, you won that first map in the 2 points, and you looked very, very good on Lijiang Tower. However, since then, you haven't looked the same. And going into map 4 here, which could be the final map of the series, if PawsChamp is able to win it, what do they have to do?
Just go back to that brawl that they ran on just go back to that, not Lijiang. I honestly would think that Strix, being the brawl team they are, would go to Colosseo. If they don't go to Colosseo, then that's another big question mark for me.
Yeah, I mean, there's only 3 push maps right now in the game. Colosseo, like you said, probably the more brawly of the 3 there. But I have the feeling, you know, we could see Esperanza, we could see New Queen Street as well, and you know, 3 different comps can be played on those ones. My opinion, Esperanza might be necessarily one that we do see, because you could play so many different comps on it, but at the same point, because you can play so many comps on it, you're also just kind of playing right back into PawsChamp's hands like you did there on Havana.
Pretty much, and every time I've seen PawsChamp play Esperanza, they've completely dominated. They completely dumpstered flashbacks on that map, and that's flashbacks. And for whatever reason, if Strix go to Esperanza, they better have a plan to deal with what PawsChamp does, because what PawsChamp does is they usually like to run a diva. They like to run heavy spam, be very aggressive. If I was Strix, I would just go to Colosseo. You beat them in the brawl. You beat them in the brawl pretty handily. I would just say go Colosseo, because if your brawl is that good, why would you play into the enemy team's hands? If you're playing into the enemy team's hands, you're pretty much gifting them the win, like saying, "Here, take this."
And remember, I had asked Dironugs how they play, how they play their matches, and they said they play fast, they play aggressive. Like you said, going to Esperanza, and they have that very fast and very aggressive play style, plays right into their hands no matter what Strix comes out with. So really, like you said, it's all comes down to what they pick here. Coliseo probably the best pick for them here, but maybe we see a new Queen Street. I feel like that's been the push map I've seen the least from a lot of teams here, and maybe that might just throw PawsChamp off guard a little bit.
I wouldn't expect New Queen Street, because New Queen Street is probably one of the push maps where it's one of the push maps that's like, it's more easily flippable than Coliseo is, but then again, it's a little more tougher. It's a little more weird layout, I would say, like, of how the spawns are structured and where the bot spawns and everything. Esperanto a little more well designed as far as push maps go. Coliseo, of course, Coliseo is the bane of like a lot of teams' existence, because when the team usually caps first point on Coliseo, they usually win. However, Strix have pulled comebacks. They were down 130 meters to 0 against Jersey Boys in Stage 1 and came back.
But I do believe we know what map we are going to be going to here in map 4, what could be our final map of the series here. And Denji, you're going to be happy about this one, because we are heading to Coliseo.
Yeah, every time Strix has every time it's been Strix map pick, or at least a Brawl Teams map pick, Coliseo has been like the big one. As we're jumping straight into the action here, PawsChamp is on that Ramantra Brawl, while Strix is on that Rhine Brawl. Now, Strix had a pretty good success with the Rhine Brawl, but here, and Varam does beat Rhine a little bit in the, like, as far as like when the brawl comes up, but once Nemesis form is gone, well, Ram is just a frail Omnic dude against a giant German man with a hammer.
Yeah, bringing back that line from earlier in this series here. But, you know, immediately Strix able to win this first fight here. Koala able to find Nova as they try to retreat here. A good start for Strix in a map that they desperately need.
Yeah, and a good thing that I think that Strix figures out is how to catch aggression, or at least Impact is really good at adapting to an enemy team's aggression when it comes to Brawl. So what Impact is doing is just waiting for Stop You to pop Nem form and just like not playing into the brawl. He's waiting for Stop You to get out of Nem form and then to go in, because when Ramatra is in Omnic form, he is so much more frail.
Yeah, but look at this. Here comes the Nemesis form from Stop You. It does force a lot of Strix back here. Nice ice wall coming out there from Rat to keep him supported. Both supports here for Strix do have their ultimates ready to go. You see the beat and the damage matrix come out. The damage matrix won't really find a lot, but the beat will be huge here. Look at the shatter coming out from Impact as well. It finds two, but the Blizzard from Nova might be able to flip this fight. Formless already able to find Impact. Nova finds Koala. Mr. Amazing out as well. Rat throws out their Blizzard, but it gets negated by the Death Blossom from Formless.
Yeah, that's where where the stars come in. Nova and Formless, probably two of the best players on PawsChamp. Nova probably the best player on PawsChamp in my opinion. I've seen this guy go from Plat to Masters in the last season, so really strong. Strix invested a lot and got really a little out of it. And PawsChamp only invested both DPS though, so they do have an ult advantage right now since Strix invested so heavily into there.
Oh, and here comes the annihilation from Stop You. It already takes care of Rat. They have their eyes now set on Impact. The beat and the damage is coming out here from PawsChamp. Look at Stop You, still able to keep this annihilation going. Formless will find Mr. Amazing, and PawsChamp going to be able to take the lead here.
Yeah, and the thing, again, I don't know if their call was to use both support ults, but that was overinvested from both sides that I've seen, where they've had 3 ults and used all 3. Now Strix has a little bit more leeway with ults because Mr. Mason has an overclock and Jim was nearing that at matrix, and Wraithform forced very early from Formless already, and Stop You kind of gets cut off there.
Overclock coming out here from Mr. Amazing, just trying to find anyone with it, but look at PawsChamp there, smartly falling back. They're gonna let Strix retake control of the bot here, probably allow it to get to its final starting spot before they come back out and contest. That's exactly what's gonna happen here. Yojimbo does have this damage matrix ready to go, but they're trying to keep some of their team alive here. Immortality Field coming out will be able to do just that, but you see Stop You just walk in front of that damage matrix. Rat, though, able to find them here. Strix needs to win this team fight so they can try to get back in this, or try to get the lead back, but the Blizzard coming out from Nova will be able to kind of keep them off the cart for a moment here, but Mr. Amazing able to find Formless there.
Yeah, and Rat uses their Blizzard, gets a lot more value. Great disengage from Strix to get out of that Blizzard there, and what Stop You did, that Stop You's over aggression there to try to kill the backline. Again, Impact did an amazing job being able to. he shielded off the heals from Dino and Blue Rose that are trying to go on to stop you as he tried to run in there, and that enabled Strix to blow him up. Now, Koala does have the beat here. Impact already, not Impact. Mr. Amazing almost up to another overclock already, but Formless, he has a Death Blossom. It's gonna be up to Koala to reaction beat it or at least try to knock him away.
They are definitely looking for it right now. They see all 5 members of Strix here. Here comes the Death Blossom, finds 1, finds 2. Dino Nugs able to find Impact as well. And now the aggression coming out from Stop You will get some value as they find Yojimbo. And they try to get rid of Mr. Amazing, but Mr. Amazing will be able to escape.
Yeah, the great play there by Strix, though. They didn't invest anything into that fight. They pretty much just accepted that they were going to lose that fight because they're so grouped up together. That's pretty much what Reaper wants. Now, Strix has almost 4 ultimates coming in here, and Mr. Amazing with those overclocks has been pretty deadly. And as he just 2-taps Formless, jeez.
The kill they needed there. They get rid of the immortality field as well. Have their eyes set on to Blue Roses. Blue Roses will be able to keep themselves alive here. Strix does have some ultimates to play with here, but Rat able to find Stop You out early. Mr. Amazing gonna slide out there. Blue Roses falls right there by the hands of Yojimbo, and Nova falls by Yojimbo as well. And Strix retakes control of the bot, down 5 meters here.
Down 5 meters, and they only used 1 ult. Now Strix is gonna have 4 ults coming in. PawsChamp has 3, but if Blizzard's before Nova, or at least Blizzard's just to like stop use Annihilation, that's all the value you need. You pretty much have to shut down the Blizzard, or you have to shut down the Annihilation. As Stop You is currently bugged out on our screens because he is currently in Omnic form, but his Nemesis form arms are currently hanging out of his side.
Man's T-posing on us right now. You love to see it, but you know, right now the shatter comes out from Impact. Did Rat block it with their own ice wall there? Blizzard's coming out from both sides. Impact, Koala, Frozen here. Stop You. Frozen as well. Kills, though, going away of PawsChamp here. But look at this. Strix has taken the lead off of a lost fight.
They took the lead They took a lead. Sure, they lose the fight, but they invested a lot of ultimates. So did PawsChamp, though, but PawsChamp has a Death Blossom Annihilation at Matrix. When you on the side of Strix, you're only looking at Mr. Amazing to charge maybe another overclock up soon. But PawsChamp knows how to press the aggression, but then again, they're kind of getting punished every now and then because Impact just knows how to catch aggression very well in that Reinhardt.
But Stop You does have this Annihilation ready to go right now. No ultimate that can stop it, but Mr. Amazing able to find Formless out here early. And look at Stop You. They're immediately trying to get into this back wall here. Nice ice wall coming out from Rat. But Mr. Amazing jumping down there will keep that ultimate alive, and they'll eventually end up falling to its Strix now. Might be able to retake the lead here, but PawsChamp might be able to retake the lead here. Strix, so using that bridge there to try to stall out the cart. Koala falls there, Rat falls. And we do see Impact get back, and this is a desperate attempt here to try to keep PawsChamp from capping or from taking the lead and getting to this first stopping point.
Yeah, they're going to get to that first stopping point, but Strix did cap the checkpoint as well, or at least got really close to it. And that was more of a just force resources out of PawsChamp, and that's exactly what Strix did. They forced the Matrix and Annihilation. Now, PawsChamp does almost have both DPS ults, but so does Strix. And Mr. Amazing with his overclocks has been really deadly.
Mr. Amazing pops back with the Death Blossom coming out from Formless. Doesn't find anyone. Mr. Amazing, though, does find Dino Nugs. They get rid of that immortality field as well. Now they have their eyes set on Formless there, but Formless takes care of them themselves. Now Impact just trying to swing at this May. However, Impact being a little bit too aggressive there ends up falling, and PawsChamp going to continue to build upon their lead right now.
They're going to build up more in their lead, and then Koala just unable to escape, gets staggered there. Now PawsChamp does have their Blizzard, and they're almost up to Annihilation again. Now Rat does have their own Blizzard to match Nova's, but every time it's just been a hit or miss on Rat's Blizzards, and so kind of on the same side of Nova's. Now Impact does have that Shatter too, so it's gotta be an ult fight for both sides here.
Damage measure coming out here from Yojimbo, the Blizzard coming out from Nova. Look at that, it captures 2. They're immediately able to find Impact and Yojimbo, those 2 that were frozen. Rat falls as well. They do use their Blizzard. Mr. Amazing falls. It's really up to Koala to try to start out this bot as long as they can, but they fall there. Will this be enough for PawsChamp to end this map?
It might be, as Strix are making swaps just to try to get back in touch, and Stop You has that come touch the pointer C9 ultimate right now in that Annihilation, so you can just pop that and pretty much end it here, or at least try to. But Koala does pick up Nova, but Impact falls on the backside and Beat comes out. This is looking dire for Strix. I don't think they're going to be able to come back from here.
I don't think they're going to be able to either. All of the ultimates coming out here from PawsChamp. Rat, though, able to keep themselves alive here. This might keep them alive in this map. Impact coming back on the ball. Gonna try to stall it as long as they possibly can. They use those shields to keep themselves in the fight. Suzu coming out from Yojimbo makes that swap over to the Kriko, but Impact falls. Now Strix desperately needs to find a kill, but PawsChamp continues to find kill after kill after kill here. However, we do see Rat take care of Blue Roses, but that will be all she wrote in this series. Impact trying to get back, but they're going to be a little bit too late, and PawsChamp, after dropping only their second map of the season, reverse sweep Strix here to keep their perfect season alive.
They keep their 7-0 record alive, but if you're Strix, you probably don't. But if you're Strix, I won't feel bad, right? Really, you took a map off of the #1 seed of Harmony tier currently, and I won't be surprised if these two teams meet each other again in the playoffs. As I want to call back to Season 8, Strix did upset the #1 seed in playoffs, beating them 3-2. So keep an eye out. Strix, once you piss Strix off, they're bad.
Yeah, but, maybe I can give them some bulletin board material right here, and we can really, I think we can go back to the Havana pick, really, and say, why necessarily was that your pick there? It was something that after Paricio, the map pick that PawsChamp had, why did Strix pick Havana, a map that is notoriously known for that close hold, and something that, we saw PawsChamp do really well on Havana. I mean, on Paricio, they brought back on Havana and dominated for about 2.5 minutes there. But like you said, maybe Strix, they take a lot from this game here, and yeah, they lost, but still might end up seeing this team again later down the road.
Yeah, I won't be surprised. Strix in the past 2 seasons have kind of had like the up and down state, have had a really good stage 1. Stage 2 has kind of been a little bit of a hit or miss, but then playoffs comes and they're a whole new different team. So I won't be surprised if playoffs comes and they do punch their way back into championship bracket. I know they made it in season 8. They did make it in season 8 by knocking down the #1 seed back then. So I won't be surprised if Strix are able to do that again. They just need to rework some things, work on like what maps they choose against teams, because if you're playing into the enemy team's hands, you're kind of just giving them the win in the case. But Strix, I won't be putting your head down with this loss. PawsChamp is the best team in Harmony currently still, and you handed them their second map loss of the season so far.
Yeah, and that map loss there on Lijiang Tower. Strix looked like they had figured something out there, but PawsChamp maybe they riled up that dog a little bit too much on Lijiang there, and we saw what happened the rest of that series there. But Denji, this was a great series overall. Like you said, Strix able to take only the second map off of PawsChamp all season here, but PawsChamp able to stay alive, keep their perfect record alive, 7-0, and will probably still be atop of the Harmony tier come next week's top 8. But Denji, do you have any final thoughts on this series before we sign off for the night?
Like Kane said before, when I talked to her before this match, Blue Rose and Dino are heavily underrated. Like, just to be able to stop you alive with how aggressive he plays. He plays so aggressive to the extent that he sometimes feeds and still survives. That's all taxing on your supports.
Yeah, I have to give them a lot of credit too. But thank you everyone who came out to watch this series here tonight. Thank you everyone behind the scenes that made this possible. Mr. Mountain Mike and Hippie for getting us all the angles that we saw tonight. Denji, thank you so much for being my co-caster here tonight. It's a pleasure as always. It was great as always. But that will do it for us here tonight at Tranquility. But make sure you stick around the rest of this week. There are 2 more matches. And Denji, is there a podcast after this one? I believe after this match is Silver Slander, which is a deep dive in Discord tier. Tomorrow you have Reckless Delta versus Just Better Inc. And Thursday you have Puke and Dogs versus Maelstrom. All right, make sure you stick around for all that stuff. And like Denji said, stick around. There will be a podcast shortly after this stream ends. But for myself, Dextron, and Denji, I hope you all have a great night and see you next time.